Hello folks, it's Jay Ramey, attorney at law, here with you one more time for another episode of Know Your Rights. And today is episode 9. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, DUI roadblocks. DUI roadblocks really make me very angry. They're very controversial, not just for me. The Supreme Court, about 20 years ago or so, the United States Supreme Court said they were legal in a 6-3 decision. If you want to read something very interesting, you should go read the dissent in that case. I sometimes post that I post parts of it on my Facebook page, because the dissent got it right. The dissent understands freedom, liberty, the Fourth Amendment. The majority made up another exception to the Fourth Amendment in that decision, saying, well, it's just a short, the police just stop you for a short time, it's no harm. Well, the Fourth Amendment does not say, there's an exception if it's only going to last 15 seconds, 20 seconds. In fact, I think the court said, the case they were reviewing, the maximum amount of time cars were stopped was like 30 seconds. Well, you give the police an inch, they take a mile. I now know, I'll see videos of cars lined up for half a mile waiting to go through the DUI checkpoint. And you get to the checkpoint, they're asking all kinds of questions. Angry men armed with guns, usually at night, or surround your car, demanding answers. First, demanding that you stop. Second, demanding that you answer their questions. But we're going to talk about answering their questions more here in a little bit. But anyway, it's very, very controversial, because this Fourth Amendment doesn't have any exceptions to it. This is all just made up court stuff, these exceptions that continually are made by the United States Supreme Court. But the good news is, and those of us in Oklahoma, we're not as fortunate as some states, but I believe in 15 states, and I may be off by one or two. Someone will comment, well, you got it wrong by one, Ramey, you're an idiot. It's about 15 states. DUI roadblocks are illegal either by state statute or by the highest court in that state, whether they call it the Supreme Court or something else, interpreting that state's constitution has made the DUI roadblocks illegal. Right around 15 states. Again, unfortunately, Oklahoma is not one of them. And I think I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, which I usually say in all my videos, I'm an attorney in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm licensed to practice law in Oklahoma. I'm also licensed to practice law in Kansas. In fact, that was where I got my first attorney job, was Kansas. So these rules I'm going to talk about going through DUI checkpoints, they're going to be generally applicable to all states, but I'm really going to focus in on Oklahoma. And, of course, those of you that live in states that don't have DUI roadblocks, well, you don't have to listen to anything I say, because it doesn't matter. Actually, you should still listen to what I say, because we're going to go over the 3 big things you need to know about your rights, which are applicable to any police encounter. Now, before we look more at the big post-it note here, I do want to talk about, I first saw this thing about over a year ago, and people still send me links to it today, like it's something new, like I haven't heard of it. Well, I know all about it. This attorney in Florida who recommends that you put your license and a little Know Your Rights card in a baggie and you hang it out your window on a string. I've also seen him do it just inside the car with the window rolled up, putting the license and the little Know Your Rights flyer up in the window. And folks, I mean, if you want to do that, if you want to try that's fine. And if you get your window busted open and they drag you out and they charge you with obstructing an officer and they throw you down on the ground and you get injured and they haul you off to jail, and again they charge you with obstructing an officer, and you want to take it to trial, you want to take it all the way to trial, and you want to appeal it all the way to the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals, I mean, that's great. I'll be right there with you. I'll make the best legal arguments I can, and we'll see what the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals thinks. But if you do that, hang a string with a baggie with your license out the window, or put it just up in the window, or put your license just up in the window, I think you will probably in the majority of circumstances in Oklahoma, you will get your window busted. They'll demand a couple times that you roll down your window, and if you don't do it, they will, more than likely, they will bust your window out. Because I've seen lots of videos of people getting their windows busted out, not at DUI checkpoints, but other occasions where they're given their license and they only crack the window a couple inches, and the cops ordering them to roll it down more, and finally I've seen cops bust the window out. Well, I think that's what's going to happen in Oklahoma if you do that at a DUI checkpoint, if you have your license hanging out on a string, baggie on a string, or if you just put it up in the window. I mean, legally, I think it's a great idea, and I think that should. I mean, I don't even think DUI checkpoints. There I go. I'm saying checkpoints. There are roadblocks. The euphemism that the police use is checkpoint. What they are is a roadblock. But anyway, I don't think they should be legal at all. And if they are going to be legal, I do think the baggie on the string, with your license in the bag, I think that should be legal. What I'm telling you is, the police are probably going to bust your window open. When you go to trial, the trial court judge, and most trial court judges in Oklahoma will probably say, oh, that's obstructing an officer. And I think if a case like that's taken up to the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals, I'm not saying I agree with it. I think what the court will do is say that's obstructing an officer. So, but that exact scenario has not been taken up to the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals. So I don't know what the answer would be. I just know what I think it is. But anyway, I'm just warning y'all, if you try that, you're probably going to end up with a busted window, drug out of the car, shoved down in the concrete, probably injured. So just beware. But if you want to fight it all the way, take it all the way, well, that's fine. I say let's do it. Anyway, DUI roadblocks. There's not much you can do about DUI roadblocks as they're legal in the state of Oklahoma. But we have to go back and fall back to our 3 big things we need to know about our rights, which I covered in episode 1 of Know Your Rights. If you want a refresher, go back and watch episode 1. But you need to remember and exercise your rights at these DUI checkpoints. Anyway, so let's get a little closer look of the 3 big things you need to know about your rights, and we'll apply them especially to the DUI roadblocks. All right, folks, now we got a little bit closer look at these are the 3 big things that I always talk about, the 3 big things you need to know about your rights. Again, they're in episode 1. I would encourage, if you haven't seen it, I'd encourage you to go back and watch it. But we're going to talk about how to apply these to DUI roadblocks. So, if you come up to a DUI roadblock, number 1 is probably not going to apply. They're probably not going to ask for consent to search your car, although they could. And just as we always do, we never, ever, for any reason, no even ifs, we never give the police consent to search our car. So if you go through a DUI roadblock and they want consent to search your car, you say, I do not consent to searches. Now, number 2 is the most important one at these DUI roadblocks. I've seen videos of them. I've seen police coming up, have you had anything to drink tonight? Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? Asking intrusive questions. And I've seen one video where the police officer was telling the person in the car, sir, you have to answer my questions. No, you do not have to answer the police questions. You never, ever have to answer police questions. You are not required at any time to answer police questions. One exception to that might be if you're being detained, your name. And I did a Know Your Rights episode on that, so go back and watch that. You don't have to answer any questions at DUI roadblocks, and you should never answer any questions. The question about, have you had anything to drink tonight? It's none of the police's business. So, if they ask you, have you had anything to drink tonight, either you just sit there and give them the dumb look, or better yet, you say, I'm not answering any questions, and I want to talk to an attorney. If they ask you where you're coming from, you don't say, I'm coming from Joe's bar down the street where I've been for the past 3 hours. They ask you where you're coming from, and you tell them, either sit there and look at them, give them a dumb look, or you say, I'm not answering any questions and I want to talk to an attorney. You don't answer their questions at anywhere, but especially at DUI roadblocks. So, remember, at any time we don't answer police questions, including DUI roadblocks, even if the police officer tells you, you have to answer my questions. Well, no, you don't. You're not deserving of any answers to any questions because you're stopping me without cause, surrounding my car, bunch of men with guns, demanding I answer your questions. No, I'm not going to answer your questions. It's none of your business if I had anything to drink. It's none of your business where I've been. It's none of your business where I'm going to. The court says you can stop me. Well, by God, then you've stopped me. But I don't have to answer any questions. So, you tell them, I'm not answering any questions and I want to talk to an attorney. Or you just give them the silent treatment. But do not answer any questions at DUI roadblocks. And then finally, number 3. If, when in doubt, you tell the police officer, I do not agree to stay here with you for any reason, but when you're in doubt whether you're free to go or not, you ask him, are you detaining me or am I free to go? So for example, if some cop comes up, or he stops you at a DUI roadblock, comes up to the car, starts asking questions, you give him this, I'm not answering questions and I want to talk to an attorney, then you say, are you detaining me or am I free to go? And once they tell you you're free to go, then go! Don't stay around to talk, to wait around, to see what's going to happen. Once the police say that you're free to go, then go. You're at a DUI roadblock and you're confused, you're not sure whether they're done with you or not, then you just ask them, are you detaining me or am I free to go? Alright? Don't just wait around until they simply dismiss you. If you think you've been there long enough and you've already told them you're not answering any questions, you want to talk to an attorney, and you're just kind of sitting there and they're kind of looking at you, you say, are you detaining me or am I free to go? Again, these are the 3 big things you need to know about your rights, and this is how they especially apply to DUI roadblocks. Now, let's talk a little bit about something that I always tell people to do, so they're always prepared for a police encounter when they're in their car, but this is really going to help you out at a DUI roadblock. Hopefully you know where your license is. It's either in your wallet or, ladies, in your purse. Ladies, men, have your wallet near you. For some reason, people put things in their back seat. Even men will take their wallet out, put it in the back seat. That's a bad idea. You want to have your wallet or purse, wherever your license is, somewhere very accessible and close to you. But the other thing in Oklahoma that they're going to ask you for is your proof of insurance. I tell people this over and over and over. Keep your proof of insurance somewhere very accessible, where you can actually see it all the time. I keep mine in a little cubby hole down in the center console, and I can see it all the time when I'm sitting in the driver's seat. It's right there. It's not a good idea to put it in your glove box. Let's talk about some scenarios, but some cases that I've actually handled in my career as an attorney. Police officer comes up, let's see your license and insurance. So the guy starts digging, opens the glove box, starts digging through it. Oh, there's a bottle of whiskey right there, an open bottle of whiskey. Or the police officer comes out, let's see your proof of insurance. Open the glove box up. Oh, well, there's a bag of weed right there. And of course, that cop, he's watching everything you do. And at DUI roadblocks, there's going to be 3 or 4 of them surrounding the car with their little lights shining in. What's in here? What are you doing? What's going on in here? Watching everything you do. So once you open that glove box, there's going to be about 3 or 4 flashlights and 3 or 4 angry men with guns looking in and seeing what's going on. I've had other cases. Let's see your proof of insurance. Open the glove box. Oh, well, there's a gun right there. And of course, that really freaks them out. Oh, what else? Open the glove box, a bag of pills. I've had that. I've had them all. I've had them all. This is why we don't keep. And well, the other thing is when people put the proof of insurance in their glove box, it always ends up buried in there somewhere where they don't know where it is. So regardless if there's anything contraband in that glove box or not, they're in there digging, looking. That's more time that you got to stand there with not just one. At a DUI roadblock, there's going to be several angry men with guns, with their little flashlights, While you're digging through your glove box, they're going to be looking in your back seat, looking on the floor, wherever they can see through the windows, and they're going to be looking to find something else, or they're back there checking on, make sure all your lights work. Because if one of them doesn't work, they're going to give you a ticket. I mean, you don't want that proof of insurance hidden in a bunch of papers in your glove box. Again, do what I do. Keep that proof of insurance right there where you can see it at all times. That's not only important for DUI roadblocks, but any traffic stop. But when you come upon a DUI roadblock, get that license out, get that proof of insurance out. Immediately have it in your hand. So when you get up there, the first thing he's going to ask you, your license and proof of insurance. And you just hand it over. And now, I would recommend that you just roll your window down a couple inches, maybe 3 inches, just enough to hand him the license. Again, when you get up there, he may order you to roll the window down more. If you want to not do that, I mean, that's fine. But you might get charged with obstructing an officer. And I will take it to court. We'll go all the way, and I'll be right there with you. But if they order you to roll down the window more and you don't, you might get charged with obstructing an officer. So I would recommend, at the very least, rolling it down 2-3 inches, hand him and have it, your insurance and your license ready to go. When you get up there to usually they put a stop sign there, and there's a cop, one cop standing there, but they're all surrounding you. You give it to them. If they say, have you anything to drink tonight or whatever, I'm not answering questions, I want to talk to an attorney. Then they give it back to you, and then you go on down the road. Of course, if they suspect that you're DUI, they're going to have you pull over, and then you're going to have to deal with all that. We'll talk more about DUIs in another episode of Know Your Rights. But anyway, well, that's it. That's all I have to say about DUI roadblocks. So, again, folks, let's remember, for God's sake, let's remember, let's always assert our basic constitutional rights when having a police encounter. Never, for any reason, never waive your sacred constitutional rights when having a police encounter. You tell these bozos the 3 big things you need to know at the appropriate time. That's what you tell them. You don't consent to searches, you don't answer their question, and you don't agree to stay around for any reason. Alright, that's it. That's Know Your Rights, episode 9. And here in another week or two, I'll do another great, I'm sure it'll be great, because they're all great. Well, I'll do another episode of Know Your Rights. Alright, if you got any questions, come to my Facebook page. I'm always posting things on my Facebook page about your rights. You can ask me any questions you want. And keep up my Facebook page, because I'm always updating what's going on in the area of law and your rights. Alright, till next time, folks. So long.